Hello, all. Greetings for the last time this season, I think, from Jersey Mike's Arena, where Rutgers just smoked Penn State on senior day, crushed them 74-62. Does not really do justice to how badly they beat them, particularly in the first half. Rutgers was up by as much as 26 points at the start of the second half, and the end from Penn State to even things out, but Rutgers really dominated this game from start to finish. They led for the last 34 minutes. And again, they led by as much as 26. They, after going down 10-8 with 15 minutes to play, Rutgers outscored them 35-11. So 24-point outscoring in 15 minutes. Pretty good. About as good as you could hope for Rutgers to perform in as far as the Big Ten standings and Big Ten tournament, a meaningless game. Rutgers is, as we learned last night, locked into the 14 seed in the Big Ten tournament, meaning they get the last first round bye. They will face Minnesota, the 11th seed, on Wednesday night, the last game of Wednesday night, of course. And if they win that game, they will play UCLA, the 6th seed, on Thursday night, one game at a time. What we know now for certain is Rutgers has a bit of a strange reality here in the season where they are 6-0 against the four teams below them, the four teams playing on Tuesday night: Penn State, Maryland, Oregon, and Northwestern. Rutgers is 0-14 against the teams above them in the standings. So Rutgers has found its perfect level at 14th place. They beat teams that are worse than them, and they could not upset anyone better than them. It worked out pretty nicely like that. Now, Rutgers finishes with 6 Big Ten wins. That, considering what we all expected, or I should say what we expected here at NJAM, between myself and Politi here at the Rutgers Rant, what we talked about early in the Big Ten season when Rutgers got off to a 0-3 start to the Big Ten in Big Ten play, when they had lost to Central Connecticut State at home, when they got smoked by Seton Hall and Tennessee and Notre Dame in Las Vegas, and really had a rough non-conference play. There was a point where we have seriously asked whether Rutgers will win another game in the Big Ten. And to Rutgers' credit, they won 6 of them, and they did not get beat by teams worse than them, as the record indicates. And it's not a good season by any stretch, but it's certainly a better season than many of us expected. For whatever it's worth, does Rutgers get momentum into the Big Ten tournament? Maybe. They'll have to run the gamut, win the whole thing, and beat potential title favorites Michigan and other teams in that elk to really have a chance of going to the NCAA. Relative to expectations, a good season for Rutgers. Relative to the heights of Steve Pikiell and where people hope to this program to return to, not quite as good of a season, but good season in the stands. Pretty good showing again today. Good showing all season, really, apart from a few non-conference games. The Oregon game as well was not particularly well attended, but other than that, solid attendance, and showing that sorry, I just read one of the comments, made me laugh. Showing that I forgot what I was saying. What was I talking about? Anyway, I completely lost my marbles. It's been a long day. But anyway, let's get into the performances. Tariq Francis, another big game, led them in points with 18, 5 of 11 shooting, 3 of 5 on threes, 5 of 6 on free throws, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 turnover, 2 steals. Great stat line for his last home game of the season here at Rutgers. Obviously, come back next year. Lino Mark continues to play really well here down the stretch of the season. 16 points on 7 of 4 shooting, 1 of 3 on threes, 1 of 2 on free throws, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover. It is the 5th time in his last 6 games he scores double digits, and it is he's now averaging 13.5 points per game over that stretch. So he's playing his best ball now, which is good for Rutgers in a way. It's also that it's good for him, certainly, because his value is going up as he's showing this. And it's not particularly good for Rutgers in that sense because, A, it'll attract more suitors in the portal, and B, it increases his stock so that if he does get retained by Rutgers, it will cost more money than it would have, say, a month ago. But it is what it is. Really impressed from him, and I'm starting to see signs, of a guy who could be a Big Ten point guard here because, again, early in the season, he couldn't hit a shot. really couldn't get to the rim, struggled to score outside of mid-range jumpers. Now, in his last 6 games, he is shooting on threes since the Minnesota game where he was 3 of 3 on threes. He is 3 of 4, 4 of 6, 4 of 6, 5 of 7, 6 of 10. He's hit 6 of his last 10 threes, shooting it with confidence. If he could shoot 35% on threes and get to the rim the way he has, with a little bit better finishing, but get to the rim the way he has, I mean, Rutgers could have a point guard to mold, as a solid backup next season if he chooses to return. Obviously, that'll be one of the big names to watch when the portal opens here in a month. Dylan Grant, 8 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover. Another solid performance from him. Played, again, a lot of center this game because Bryce Dortch is still out with, I believe, an ankle injury. Emmanuel Boley played 15 minutes because he had 4 fouls. So Darren Buchanan had to take up a lot of the load at center, and he played pretty well against the team in Penn State, which had been pretty soft in the middle and let Rutgers do what it wanted inside the paint, particularly in the first half. Dylan Grant, 6 points on 2 of 5 shooting, 0 of 2 on threes, which means he was 2 of 3 on twos, 2 of 2 from free throws, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 1 turnover. Again, another not good, not great game from Dylan Grant. Emmanuel Boley on his senior night. Boley confirmed after the game he does have the option of applying for a waiver for another season or a potential redshirt year because he did not play much his first year at JUCO. I'm not sure what the odds are of him getting it. He did not bite when I asked would he consider coming back to Rutgers. He said he would have to first get the waiver before ultimately having to make the decision, which fair enough. But it'll be something else to watch there. Pauline and I on our podcast tomorrow will have our feelings on. We'll go through those. Should they keep them? Should they let them go? Thoughts here on tomorrow's episode. So we're not going to do that tonight. I know some of you might be raring to ask, but we'll go through that in tomorrow's episode. Let's go through the rest of the players. Michael Davis, 11 points, 3 of 8 shooting, 1 of 2 on threes, 4 of 4 on free throws, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, 0 steals or blocks. Solid game from the captain. Split it better first half and second, but solid game. Both ends. Caden Powers, only 3 points on 1 of 5 shooting, 3 rebounds, 3 assists though. Rutgers as a team, let's get that number, had 16 assists on 27 made shots. That's a pretty solid 59.3% assist rate. Pretty freaking good. And only 7 turnovers. Rutgers did only force 10 turnovers, but they really didn't need to force many more because Penn State was 3 of 22 on threes, 13 of 22 on free throws. And at the rim, Penn State was, they were 16 of 22, pretty good there. As a team, Rutgers started 11 of 12 at the rim, 11 of 12. They finished 16 of 27, which means they went 5 of 15 the rest of the way. Rough second half compared to the first half. Chris Newell, who I believe in the second half, a little bit with what appeared to be an ankle injury, limping off the court, but he went back in and got an and one. He had 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 fouls. And Harun Zerno, very slim cameo, 0 points on 0 of 2 shooting, 5 minutes, all in the first half. Did not play the second half. So overall, good team performance for Rutgers, I would say. Let's go through the comments here. Akira says, great win. What if we looked like that all year? That would require playing Penn State every game. I think this result was much more a result of who Rutgers played rather than the way they played. Rutgers played really well. I'm not denying that. But they were especially helped in the first half because, they were just getting whatever they wanted, driving to the rim, doing whatever they wanted against Penn State. Very lackadaisical defending from the Lions. They really had nothing to play for. They're last place in the Big Ten. Had a little bit of a comeback towards the end when they're down 14 points, some forcing turnovers. But even if they wanted to, they just didn't have the horses to really do much. I just feel bad for Mike Rhodes. Akira, this is why I was laughing before. Akira says that he was going to tell me after the game, but I left the press box. When his baby is born next month, he wants me to sign their forehead. It would be an honor. I have probably some ethical on the forehead of a newborn baby. Find me next year when the baby is 9 months, 10 months, and maybe you've had some time to think about this. I appreciate the honor. Maybe I'll sign like a baby jersey or something for them rather than a friend. But I appreciate the sentiment, Kiri. You are the number one supporter of the Rutgers Rant podcast. No one could dispute that, particularly after that comment. Comment of the year, I think. I I appreciate you, my friend. And that'll be a bar for a lot of you to clear. If you guys want to say you're real friends and fans of the Rutgers Rant podcast, the bar is set up here from our friend Akiri. Linda Conroy says she knows Peichel has gotten a lot of heat this season, but she believes he really cares about the team. Nice post-game interview. I don't know if you mean the BTN one. I have not seen that. His press conference will be uploaded on our YouTube page here shortly once it gets through the copyright checks, which are very annoying. But I did not see the Big Ten interview, but what I will say is that no one is disputing that Steve Peichel really cares about his team. I think that's been abundantly clear throughout his 10 years here. And I think, Steve Peichel is a nice guy. He's a personable guy. No one will argue with his personality. But I think the reason he's getting heat is because the team is in its third straight losing season. That takes a toll, particularly the middle one. Last year obviously takes the biggest toll. It takes him from the peak of his tenure to a hole that is very hard to dig out of. But again, they got their win today, and I agree with you that Steve Peichel clearly cares about his team, and that's nice, and that probably makes fans feel good, and that's all well and good. But I think ultimately the most important thing is winning games, and he has not been doing much of that recently. So I think part of that. Obviously, the biggest reason he's coming back is because of the enormous buyout. Let me fix the lighting here. My eye looks all. This is bad lighting. Obviously, the reason he's coming back is because of the buyout. And probably 5% he's coming back is because of his success, like the peak of his success, and then another 2.5% his personality, how he gets along with people, how he makes has good relationships within the Rutgers community, with powerful people in the Rutgers community. And another 2.5% other, whatever you want to point to. But I don't dispute the point here. I think you're accurate. Linda says she understands, and let's see what happens when given the resources. That will be the theme of the offseason, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens. I'm very curious to know how it'll all play out, and then we'll have a nice, fun 4 months or so. We're speculating, talking about the roster, and then before we know it, it's November. It's just the way these things go. I know I went a little later than usually go after these games. One, because I had to get through the autograph signing, which there was a good crowd for the post-game autograph signing. I took a photo that I will post right here for you all to see. So you don't just take my word for it. Apologies, I got to airdrop this to myself, which is always a pain in the butt. And also because we were finishing out reporting a story that Politi and I just hit publish on, that Rutgers is targeting Gary Reedus II, a assistant at LSU under Kim Mulkey, as its next women's basketball coach. The contract is not finalized. The deal is not finalized, but that is top target for Rutgers at this moment, and we will see where it goes. But we were finishing out our reporting on that, which is why I got on here late. Let me get this photo of it's technical difficulties here, folks. But anyway, let me go through the comments. Has Obole figured it out, or is there just a glimpse of potential of an inconsistent big man? I think there are very small glimpses. For example, the last 10 minutes against Michigan State, or when he is playing a certain level of opposition where his size gives him an advantage. And there are some periods where he has inspired play. But I don't think that Emmanuel Obole, who is turning 26 years old in September or in November, this fall, he's turning 26 years old. I don't think this is a diamond in the rough that is figuring it out. And in due time, if you give him one more year, one more development, one more summer of development, he will be a solution at center. He is what he is. We will debate the merits of not whether Rutgers should attempt to bring him back next year if they can, again, on tomorrow's podcast, but I don't think he's figured it out. I think today it was a matter of the opponent he played against Michigan State. It was a matter of his team being down 15 points and him having 4 fouls and nothing to lose. So I think he is what he is, and I think that Rutgers must must find a better solution at center for next season, or it'll be another long winter. Death Poops asks, he spells my name wrong. I'm assuming, or I'm hoping it's on purpose as a joke, because otherwise, very frustrating. It's Brian with an I. Anyway, do I have a favorite Stromboli? I haven't been to Stuff Your Face in a long time. I like the pizza boli, which is very vanilla. I realize, I know, but I can't really go wrong with just tomato sauce and cheese. So if you guys have a favorite Stromboli while we're still alive, hit the chat and let me know. Stuff Your Face is an institution, as we all know, and had it a decent amount when I was a student years ago, but haven't gone back since. Haven't really had a reason to. Other than the 247 when I used to work there, they had a reunion there, and I enjoyed my trip there. But otherwise, don't really have a reason to stop by there on Easton Ave. I can't get the photo up, guys. Technical difficulties. Can't airdrop it to myself. Very frustrating. But actually, let me see if I can work it this way. I realize this is going to be a very little payoff, because I don't know if you guys really care how many people are there for an autograph signing, which is by the Players Era, which was the host of the tournament in Vegas, which indicates that the reporting that there are some teams that haven't gotten all their money yet. This tells me that Rutgers is probably on that list. One, because they're doing this autograph signing after the last game of the regular season, and two, because every player on the roster was posted, or not every player, every eligible player for NIL. I don't believe any of the international players did this, but all the domestic players posted something on Instagram that is a promotion for the Players Era, Players Era travel, etc. So I'm assuming that's for a fulfillment, so I can get through the College Sports Commission clearinghouse. Here is a look at the autograph signing session. Let's see if I can get it up. It's loading. I'll wait for it to load, and then I'll push it up. Again, this has been a bit of a disaster trying to get this photo up. Well, anyway, Tom says, great to see how much confidence Lino has gained during this year. Solid returner and starter next year. I don't know about starter, but certainly it would be a win to bring him back. And Steve Peichel was very complimentary of his play, said he looks like a new player. And I would agree. I mean, he's getting to the rim and putting pressure on the rim, as Steve Peichel says, at a high level. And while his finishing isn't quite there, just that dimension he adds makes a humongous difference to what Rutgers is able to do. So the shot chart was nicer today. It wasn't great, but it was better today. I'll pull that up as well. But here is the photo. This is the post-game autograph session. There was a line down of a table down at the end of players sitting down, and this is people waiting in line to get it. It wrapped up shortly before we started doing, or I should say shortly after we started doing the show. Good showing, I would say, from fans who stayed. They had to stay a while afterward to get the autograph session going, but once they did, people got their autographs, and good for them. Again, this is a fan base that showed out to a decent amount to a third straight losing season. And, the guy got a reward here with some autograph signings. And last thing here before I sign off, unless there are any more questions, just to show the shot chart. Once it loads, here it is. Rutgers obviously in red. Just to get the numbers, Rutgers shot 19 threes, 27 twos at the rim. So that is 46 shots, which means they only had 15 non-rim twos. 15 non-rim twos is a lot of non-rim twos for most Division I teams. For Rutgers, it almost feels like a step in the right direction. So some shots here that you would really not like. You would probably prefer these far twos to be moved back a few feet to the behind the arc, but progress, I guess. And the shot chart is courtesy of ESPN, to be clear. So thank you to ESPN. Let me remove this. Let me get myself back up there. And let me take Tom's. I think Dylan Grant has the weakest hands of any D1 player. I can't really measure that. I would say he's been a bit disappointing this season, as we said ad nauseum. No need to go through all that. All right. Well, any other questions about men's basketball, about women's basketball, potential hire? We'll go into that deeper on the podcast tomorrow. Otherwise, I will. I'm going to head home and check what the Benfica Porto score is. I guess the season is over for Sporting after they tied yesterday last second. So anyway, I'm not happy about that, but we move on. And there's always the Champions League big match this week. So anyway, I'm sure you guys don't want to hear about all that. So 20 minutes after the season finale, again, Rutgers defeats defeats Penn State by a wide margin, I will be in Chicago for the Big Ten tournament, which again, Rutgers plays Minnesota in the last game of the second round Wednesday night at the United Center. We will have a podcast tomorrow, and we will have plenty to talk about over the next few weeks. It should be a busy time for Rutgers, for Kelly, Zinn, and company, and we will see how things go. In the meantime, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for participating in the chat. Thank you for liking and subscribing. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Please follow the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Please stay at the Heldrich Hotel, the best sponsor in the Rutgers sports universe and the best hotel in New Brunswick. Senegal will be staying there as for the World Cup. They established Rutgers as their team base camp. They will train at Rutgers facilities, and they will stay at the Heldrich Hotel, and they will go back to their home country, and the players that play in Europe will go to Europe, and they will tell all their friends, when you come to New Brunswick, New Jersey, you make sure you stay at the Heldrich Hotel, the best hotel in New Brunswick, and where all the best, smartest Rutgers fans stay as well. So thank you to the Heldrich. Thank you to all of you for listening. I see 10 people immediately logged off the live stream as I was talking about the Heldrich Hotel. So that's my cue to say goodbye. Thank you all for tuning in. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.